All right, on this Garlic Marketing Show, we're going to talk about the number one thing you need to do in sales marketing. One of the most important things you need to do to have successful sales, get better leads, close bigger deals, have marketing that works. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is and the process that we use to go about it so you start landing big clients. And of course, I'm going to start with a story. We've got a member of the Trusted Authority community, and she's in our Chief Story Officer calls. So this is an elevated call where I act as Chief Story Officer with them, fractional, which I think is probably one of the most important roles out there. I'm not saying because I do it, it's because the answer is always in the stories. And her stories were what was holding her back. See, she had leads coming in, right? Plenty of leads coming in, but they didn't close or couldn't afford her. And the ones that could were kind of sidestepping her, right? And that happens more than you think. And it seems like, well, I just need more leads then, right? Because I just need more of the leads. But if we get into the cycle of talking to the wrong leads, and what we found was she was talking to the wrong people about the wrong problems. So it's not actually the wrong people. So her niche, she was in the right niche, but the people were too early on in their business. And so she was talking to the problems, but here's what happened is she was listening to them and would do content around them, and then was trying to create a strategic offer for these people that couldn't afford to pay her. And I'm all for helping everyone, right? And there's lots of ways to help these people through content, but if you're getting on sales calls, you're spending money on marketing, you're spending your time, right? It is costing you money because she was speaking to the wrong problem. And we need to be obsessed with the right problems, the problems that our prospects have, the ones that we want to work with. Because if you're having problems with sales, if you're having problems with leads, if you're having problems with marketing, if you're having problems closing, you have a problem, the problem, right? You a lot of times are speaking to the wrong audience, right? And a lot of times I see this. Now, the wrong audience, like in this other case, and I'll tell you at the end how we solved it, right? We'll get to that, but I really want to drive this home. If you are speaking to the wrong audience, you might actually get feedback on talking to their problems, right? And get a ton of views. But those views and that feedback like she was getting didn't lead to sales. And I see this a lot, and especially in content, because you're talking to the wrong problem too, right? And it could be the right audience. Like she was speaking in the right industry, and that industry has money, but she was speaking to the wrong problem. Because people, you can be industry focused, but be not speaking to the right problem. And I've done this before too. Like back when we focused solely on working with attorneys, a lot of times I would get caught listening to 2 or 3 clients who really didn't spend a lot of money with us, but I kept making content solving their problems. So I attracted more of those clients, and it became this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And then like people just can't afford me, they can't afford this, blah blah blah. It's just because you're speaking to the wrong problems. The number one skill set in marketing and the number one skill set in sales is problem solving, right? It is problem solving. It is understanding and finding out what the real problems are. And there's multiple types of problems. I'll talk about that in future videos, so make sure to subscribe. If you have any questions about that, let me know. But the problem with you being a problem solver in sales and marketing is often you are an expert. Let's say you're an agency, right? You're an expert in building websites, or you're a consultant. You're an expert in solving their real problems, right? And you learn the techniques as a consultant, as a coach. You learn the techniques as an attorney. Right? Attorneys, like, they're experts, and they're experts in solving problems. But the problems that they're solving, right, are the technical lawyer experts. And experts solve technical problems, right? For me, when I first started, I would figure out how to get people ranking in YouTube and number one on YouTube and number one in search engines, but I was not solving their problem. That was, while in the end it did, I wasn't speaking to their problem. And I would go out and try and sell that stuff to people, and no one would listen to me. Because no one at that time realized that it made the leap that, hey, being number one on Google would get you higher quality leads than being in the yellow pages. I eventually learned that, right? And I learned that and learned to talk to their problems, right? This video actually comes from me finding out the problems of my clients, people I'm coaching. And I just looked at, right before I made this, I was with one of the people agencies I'm coaching, and looked at their website, and the new website content wasn't speaking to the real problems. I'm like, do you know their problems? So how do we solve this? It's, first of all, this is exactly how we solve this for my client and the trusted authority and the chief story officer calls. You figure out exactly who you want to serve that can pay you, right? This is a big difference. Do they have the money to pay you? Do they have the money to pay you what you deserve? Now, bigger companies, right, or people with money, and now those people have $1 million problems, right? There's a problem that's worth million or millions to them. We need to figure out what that problem is. The $1 million problems, right? And because when you solve $1 million problems, people will pay you $100,000 or more to solve $1 million problems. Like for us, we make our clients, literally some of our clients, millions of dollars a year. Right, from video case stories, YouTube, the Core 4 videos, the complete sales process, strategic offer, everything that we're doing. Some of them get $1 million client, some get a $100 million client, right? They're willing to spend $100,000 to get a 10-to-1 return, or a possible 10-to-1 return. For us, even if it's double your money, you make $200,000, that's great. But if there's a chance of getting them in closer to solving those $1 million problems. And once you figure out the $1 million problems, now you just demonstrate how you do it, and listen, and you read their mind, right? So we demonstrate that through the Core 4 converting videos, video case stories being number one. I didn't start video case story because, hey, I love making customer stories. Now, I do love that, but that's not why. We actually did those in the end. We used to do those in the end, and we moved them to the front. Why? Because the video case story process, when you listen to the people, the right people, and you figure out who those people are, you will have your $1 million problems. You will find those, right? You listen to them. Now, and the process of listening to them, if you're interviewing them, now you have their verbiage. Now you have how they speak. Now you have how they're thinking. And you can start to, quote unquote, read other people's minds about their problems, because you can talk about that. And now you have a video of the person, right? I will be getting a video of that client once she has some success. I don't want to unleash it, but we just said, hey, we looked at who her ideal client was and go, this is your client. Now, she already had interviews with them. And she goes, well, this is what I really did for them. And this is what they really, made the biggest impact. I'm like, and it was completely different than our original strategic offer and all of her other content. And I see this all of the time, right? So, there's two of those things. It's what problems are they having right now, and you demonstrating how you fix it. So you've got to go through the video case story process. And I'm not saying because I want you to go through and buy stuff from me. I'm saying that it's the number one way to figure this out, to demonstrate it and make other videos. Because from there, you have your core 4 videos. And you put them into your YouTube closer, right? You start using those throughout your marketing, and you're speaking to their problems over and over and over again. Those other core 4 videos, right? Your why us, your trusted path, show how you uniquely solve those problems. And then you're constantly demonstrating that throughout your entire process, not once, but constantly demonstrate it. Now you're going to transform the quality of the leads, the quality of the conversations, and when you demonstrate that and they can feel something, even in your content, you become a trusted authority. So moving from the gap is pretty simple. Is it easy? No, there's a lot to do. And that's the opportunity, because it is not easy. It is not an AI push button. You have to listen to your clients. You have to spend the time in the process of interviewing them, have someone interviewing them. You've got to collect the stories. You've got to use the stories. You've got to craft the stories. You've got to create other videos around you solving those problems that they have. But then that works, right? It works because now you've solved your problem. And not only will you be a trusted authority, but it'll make your sales so much easier, make your clients happier, and it'll give you direction in what you do in your business. Because if it's not moving towards solving that problem, maybe you shouldn't be doing it. All right, so if you want to get started and figure that out, you can go to videocasestory.com/finder. We got a process there you can download to get the finder, right? To find the real clients and their real problems. This was get you started right away. And of course, we can help you collect those stories, or if you want to apply to be a part of the Trusted Authority community, work directly with me, you're more than welcome to apply. It's limited. I just can't talk to everyone, right? And I want people that are going to take action, commit to it, and are willing to invest in themselves. But focus every day on the real problems that your clients have and speaking to them, and your sales will transform, your marketing will transform. I promise you, and you'll become a trusted authority.